I've always felt like as a society, we are inclined to be far too concerned with what people do to pay bills. More often than not, we judge others based on their job titles, as if what we do defines our self-identity. If we think about it, when we meet someone and try to get to know them, one of the first things that we ask them is, "So, what do you do for a living?" This question might seem ordinary on the surface, or we might think of it as an icebreaker to get to know someone that we meet in our life. But also, I believe this question is something that we subconsciously use to judge others and evaluate how important someone whom we are talking to is based on their reply. From that brief answer of what we do for work, others will make conclusions about our intelligence, education, income, drive, and value to society. If someone tells you that he or she is a doctor, lawyer, or a CEO of a company, then our first response would be, "Wow, that's cool," or "You must be amazing." We might even change the way we speak, or we might act more respectfully than usual, just because we think that the person whom we are talking to is more important than what we are. Well, I currently live in Japan, and this is definitely the case in this country. We believe someone is more important and use keigo, which is our polite way of speaking the language, just because of their age, social status, and job titles. But we should probably ask ourselves, is judging people based on their jobs really correct? Say someone is a doctor, but he or she doesn't look after their families at all. Should they really be respected? If someone is a CEO but isn't respectful to others, then how can we say that they're important and amazing? My point is that, yeah, sure, we have to be something to earn the paycheck every week, but how amazing or important we are shouldn't be defined by what we do for work. So let me share some of my perspectives with you on why I believe your work doesn't define who you are. Is that you or your job position that people pay respect to? If you get promoted in your company, then you'll start getting perks of being respected by others. But we might want to think, is this because you're in the job position, or are you respected by people because it's you? Imagine a world where I'm the CEO of a company. When I have a meeting with the client, there would be people who prepare a nice and tidy room for me. There might be a delicious cup of flat white and a meal for me to have before the meeting. There might be some people that give me a bow on the way to the meeting room when they see me just to show their respect for me. All of these treatments would probably make me feel I'm being respected and getting special treatments because it's me. But that's where my question comes in. What if I tried to join the meeting as being me, Sena Shimotsuma, without the job title of the CEO? I know I wouldn't get any of these special treatments. No one would recognize me as they walked past me. I would have to get my own coffee at a vending machine. Needless to say, I wouldn't get a nice meal in the meeting room. To be honest, I would probably get kicked out by security people as soon as I walked into the company. This hypothetical situation makes me think that as long as I work to get a certain job position, I will be respected for my job title, but not for who I am. This explains that the CEO position doesn't have to be me at all. It can be anyone else, because anyone who gets the CEO position would be treated the same, because people do not pay respect to the person who is a CEO, but the job position itself, if that makes sense. I went off track a little bit, but my point is that if the job positions are something that people pay respect to, then it's nothing to do with who I am. I hope that I can do something that is unique to my personality and values, so that people know me as Sena Shimotsuma rather than, oh, that guy is a sales manager of this company, or he's a marketing guy for blah blah blah. I don't want to be defined by my job position, because my job can simply be done with pretty much anyone else. This is one of the reasons why a job cannot define you at all, because it's not unique to who you are and the job doesn't tell much about you as a person. Because this is something you do and not something you are. We should probably ask ourselves, how can we determine if one job is better than the others? For example, the common perception among people is that university professors are more highly regarded than junior high school teachers. CEOs of companies are more respected than people who work at convenience stores. But I always question myself, where does this hierarchy come from? Is it about how much money you make per year, or is it about how much you contribute to the society? Japan is known to have such a strong hierarchical system. In Japan, we have this rather traditional belief that if you go to a good school, you can get into a good university and you will be able to get a good job and you will be happy for the rest of your life. We tend to associate our happiness with academic success in the job we will have or the company that we will work for, because that's what a lot of people believe is the ultimate way to becoming happy. However, it's quite ironic to see people's faces when they go to work in the morning, because I don't know about you, but I find it extremely difficult to find people who look like they're excited about their day on a daily basis. I don't know the definition of happiness for many people, but as for me, I do have a fair understanding that I cannot associate my happiness with what I do for work, because a job cannot tell about my character or who I truly am. This is why I believe that we as a society should see the value in others for who they are and not for what they do, because these two things are completely different and they're not comparable. We are simply so much more than what we do for work. Our identities should be defined by what we love, what we dream of, what we value, and who we cherish. If we think about it, our true friends and family don't care about what kind of job we have or how much we make. All they care about is our happiness and well-being. At the end of our life, we can't literally take anything with us, such as money, fame, our physical possessions, etc. That's why I would like to focus on how I treat others, because at the end of the day, nobody will remember what I did or what I said, but others will remember me for how I made them feel. After my life ends, it would be my honor to be remembered as someone who was kind and friendly to the people whom I interacted with, rather than, he was a hard-working salesperson that devoted his entire life to his company, or he made millions of dollars and had a successful life based on materialism. I guess what I want to say is that we should treat ourselves as to how we would want our friends and family to treat us, because how we decide to treat others and express ourselves is glued to our identities way more than our jobs ever will be. One of the biggest regrets that people have at the end of their life is caring too much about what others say. Because a lot of us are stuck in this mindset that jobs define who we are, sometimes we cannot get out of the jobs that we hate. We can't enjoy our life because we believe that we need to work hard and as many hours as possible to be respected for the job titles that we hold. But if we shift our mind from our jobs define who we are to they're just jobs that pay us money to survive in this capitalism society, then it would make us feel a lot less pressure to stay in the jobs that we hate and pursue something different or start something new from scratch. Most of us believe that we have complete control over our circumstances, although life is known to be filled with uncertainty. Today you may identify yourself as a hard-working businessman, but 7 years from now, you may want to be a barber, cutting people's hair for a living. At the moment, you may be working for a company that has been creating profit for a long time, but external things like a market crash or another pandemic might happen and completely devastate the operation of the company. Then you might end up losing your job. For me, life is full of uncertainties and surprises. We cannot control what is going to happen to us, unfortunately. But we can decide how we react to or deal with the things that happen to us. And I strongly believe that if we define ourselves as who we are rather than our job titles, then we can have the confidence to adjust ourselves to sudden changes in our life situations. This way we can live our life by being true to ourselves, rather than worrying about others judging what we do for a living. Now I try to ask questions consciously to people that I meet in my life. Instead of asking them, what do you do for a living? I try to ask, what are you interested in? But unfortunately, many people in Japan are not used to it, and they sometimes give me the look of, why is he asking me about what I'm passionate about instead of what I do for a living? But one day, I hope to live in a society where it's common not to define ourselves by our jobs, and we can enjoy our life by doing things that we are passionate about and spend a significant amount of time with our families, friends, and people who we truly care about. No one ever said on their deathbed, "I wish I'd spent more time at the office." I believe all of us have a lot to offer more than the jobs that we do, becoming more than what our job titles are. Your job is not everything about your life. Your work doesn't define you. That's the end of the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, because when you hit the like button, the YouTube algorithm helps my channel grow and reach people who are interested in the topics that I discuss on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing, and I will keep striving to create videos that are worth your time. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys later. Bye!